Hey guys, welcome and welcome back. Today I'll be talking about the differences between a genuine Wakuku and a fake WaFUFU. Alright, so quickly, I'm just going to let you guys take a look at these guys. And you tell me in the comments what you think. Alright, which one is real and which one is fake. Alright, okay. Write them in the comments. And then I will reveal what it is. All right. So what is Wakuku, first of all? Wakuku is a plush pendant. It is, as you can see at the back. This one as well. It's a plush pendant similar to like a Labubu, for example, but a different IP. So they come in figurines, in plush pendants. There's different versions. This one is version 1, which is the fuzzy, trendy, fun party series, as you can see at the back here. And I think the best way to kind of go about this is that we can discuss which one is real and which one is fake first, and then we'll move on to the boxes. All right, so last chance to write your comments down below which one you think. And if you guessed that this one is real and this one is fake, then you got it right, all right? But we'll go through the details on what's different. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the boxes. So I'm going to leave this guy here and this guy here. And just to make things easy, I'm just going to switch it this way so that it makes more sense. This is the fake box and this is the real box, all right? So immediately, if you just take a look at this in general, you can see that the colors are way less vibrant and almost blurred from the fake box versus the actual real box. All the things at the bottom are still there. You can see that there's this little like top knot symbol over here. That's Wakuku's normal hair on both of them. All right, and another thing that you realize is if you look at this, this is a bit shiny, right? It's a little bit glossy, like a semi-gloss sort of finish. This one has a matte finish. And if we turn it around and look at the fine print and everything, they're actually the same. It's really only that printing quality that's different. So one thing here is that you'll see that there are 2 QR codes at the bottom here for like WeChat and etc. But on the real one, and not all versions will have this, but the latest versions will have a QR code with a number at the bottom, and the number is supposed to correspond with like ULR when you actually sign it. It goes to another like WeChat page though, so if you don't have WeChat, like I don't have that, I can't really search that up, but that's what I've read online. You can see over here too, the real one, the figures showing the different probabilities and the different types of figures you can get in this blind box. You can see that they're slightly more glossy, if this will focus, than the rest of the box, which is already like a semi-glossy. These ones go to full glossy, and if you touch it like this, it's slightly raised, so you can feel it. All right. Another difference between the boxes is actually the pull tab. So this one, if you flip it up here, you can see that there's a pull tab on this area, or rather here on the fake box. However, it's just like a cardboard piece. With the real one, this pull tab is quite clean. I've already ripped it open, but let's just go through it. I'll show you. The pull tab has this red strip of plastic inside, which makes it very easy to pull. The fake does not have that. So that's something to look out for. Of course, granted, not all editions of Wakuku will have this, but the more like recent versions that they released of the version 1, Fuzzy Trendy Party, that one will have this along with the QR code. All right, so now let's open them up. So once you open it up, you'll find like your foil bag, which is where the Wakuku is. So let's compare foil bags. So you have the fake one over here. And you can see that it just features Wakuku saying "Wa" in a bunch of different poses. And actually, you see the same thing on this one, which is the real one, right? A bunch of different poses and etc. However, what's weird is that this is actually really thin. This is a little bit more substantial. It still feels like a plastic foil bag, but it feels like a regular foil bag, like the foil bags that you used to get at Pop Mart, for example. They feel like this. This one feels almost like a foil. So you can see it crinkles really, really easily versus this one. You can see it bounces back a little bit harder. So those are the differences with the bags. But let's set the bags aside for now. What else do you expect to come with your Wakuku Fuzzy Trendy Party V1? So you should get a card with a bunch of stuff in it. So let's pour that out. For mine, I also got a forbidden candy, a little silica gel. This is outside of the bag, outside of the foil bag. This is also outside of the foil bag. What you will receive in the real one is a card. Ooh. Which should be a hard cardboard card with a hole up here. And it shows the one that you have. So the one that I have here is the Back to Y2K. So here he is on a skateboard. This should be pretty good quality, not really easily flimsible. Like it should, it's not flimsy, sorry, not flimsy. And it should be quite hard and good quality. You will also have two bags. One bag will have the loop, the keychain loop, which is this guy over here. And the other one will have the necklace. I'll go through the differences for those on the dolls themselves, but they will be packaged separately in Ziploc bags. Again, this might change version to version, but the latest versions will have this. And they'll all be in this big bag that has their hat. So what did we get? Whoa. What did we get in the fake one? Well, we still got the hat, and it was in a plastic bag like that, but we didn't get the card, so that's a dead giveaway. But also, everything else wasn't packaged like that. They were kind of like just loose in the bag instead of having their own Ziploc. All right, so let's take these away and talk about the dolls. Be right back. All right, guys, so lots of things to go through. I think the first thing we're going to discuss is the smell. This real guy over here does not smell like anything, like 0 scent whatsoever. He just smells like nothing. This one, on the other hand, smells a little bit like plastic, actually a lot like plastic. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I actually accidentally bought this one for basically the same price as an original because I trusted the person who was selling it, but turns out it was totally fake and I had to get a refund. And I'm going to probably donate this one later because I can't like ship it anywhere and etc. I don't want someone else to end up having this or like paying for it or anything like that. So I'll just either give it to someone who doesn't mind that it is a WaFUFU instead of a Wakuku, or I'll just donate it after this video, of course. I needed to keep it for this video. So the smell is the first thing. And then the second thing is the size. You'll see that this guy is actually quite thin compared to this one. A real Wakuku should be plump. It's like he's a well-fed baby, right? But this guy is, while he's very fuzzy, you can see that he doesn't have as much stuffing in him, and he certainly doesn't have this little belly that the real one has. Next, I think it will be important to look at the feet. The feet is one of the things that you can really catch a fake on. So this fake one has just two. You can see that it has all these like rough edges, and also if this will focus, kind of, okay. You can see that it has this little image over here, but it's just two images that are the same. That's not what they should look like. They should look like this one over here, which has Let's Van, which is the company from that makes Wakuku. And you should also see this. The symbol is very similar, right? However, you'll see that this one actually has some designs inside. And when you look at those designs, you can see that this is actually Wakuku's hair. So you'll see the front bangs as shown here with the little top knot at the top. So that's how they should look like. Another thing is that the top of the shoe is also different. So this one, if I can just brush it off a little bit, you can see that it has this. So shoelaces that are sort of like, the whole thing is embossed shoelaces. That's the shape of the mold, but you can see that it's not this, it's the same color as the rest of the shoe. It's not actually a different color. In the genuine version, if I'm able to even show a little bit, you can see that there are shoelaces, but not only are the shoelaces there and printed on, they're like physically raised, they're also a different color. These ones are white compared to the bright yellow shoe. So those are some key points. Next, we have the hands. So on the fake, the hands look like this. They're sort of a light color. And they have sort of like a palm print. The real ones are slightly darker and they also have the palm print. They are slightly, just very lightly peach and maybe even a little bit blushed on the sides, but like very, very little. The arms should be posable. So this guy, it bounces back, right? In a real Wakuku, you can actually move them like this or like this because there's a wire running behind, through the arm, through the body, and over here. So if I move one, the other should also move. That's something to keep in mind. All right, now let's look at the face. The real one, if this will focus, I really need it to focus. Maybe I should go in here. Yep. Okay, that looks better. The real one, you can see, has raised eyelashes. These ones are raised. The eyes are crystal clear. The tooth is 3D. And this part over here, the unibrow, is very evenly spaced. That is different than the fake one, which you can see the eyebrow is not evenly spaced. It is actually quite grainy, a little bit pixelated. The eyelashes are not 3D, but the tooth is. Another thing to note is you can see that his nose here has two little indentations for nostrils, but they're not as prominent as with the real thing. You can see here, it's very obvious he has two little nostrils in comparison to this one, which has them a lot lighter. And also, this is just painted on. You can see here, there's a painting. Versus the real one, it is a separate piece of plastic. I guess this is also a good time to show you guys this while this is focused. You can see this is the Wakuku's hair. That's how it should look like. Now, for the necklace, it will say Let's Fan on one side, and it will say W on the other. The actual pendant is very similar between the fake and the real. However, the pendant here is just slightly thicker. It has slightly thicker and is a little bit more rounded than this one. So hopefully you guys can see it. This one is a little bit more flat compared to this. But in general, the embossing on this one is pretty good. It's like pretty deep inside, and this one is as well. Next, we have the hats. So the hats are a big quality difference, right? Because if we look at this hat over here, it's just stitched and this part isn't finished. So you can see they just didn't sew this part so that the tag could come out. And the tag basically looks almost about the same on both of them, just in different colors because of the different styles. However, this hat, if you look at this section, it is actually seamed. So someone has put two pieces of these cloth together, finished the ends, and then made this hole so that there's no loose threads in this area. It's all sewed together. Both the fake and the real have a tag on the inside of their hat. It just says Let's Fan, and the image, the icon, same with this one. Let's Fan, and then the Wakuku top knot. But you can see that there's differences there. Both the real and the fake will have a 360-degree turning head. Oop. And this one has a tag here. However, on the real one, and I know that not all editions might also have this, but it has that tag alongside another tag that basically says like, how do you wash the doll? So I'll let you guys take a look at that. Oof. That's what it says. So there you go. And finally, over here, I want to talk about this keychain loop. You can see that they are very, very similar. They're both like one of these circles. However, if you compare them, this one is just slightly more substantial, more thick than this one over here. So I wouldn't use this particularly to identify if it's fake or real. One thing that I really want to note is that, you know, a lot of these things may be missing from edition to edition. Like, for example, the tag, the longer tag here, or like the pull tab, the QR code, etc. You should really take these things all in consideration before you make the judgment on if something is a WaFUFU or if you have the real Wakuku, right? So in this case, there are so many things that were wrong with this one that I automatically knew this could not be real. So then I went and got this guy, and this one is real. And you can see a lot of the things match up. It's exactly what I expected to be like. It's way higher quality. And so that's how you can know, along with the fact that there's like QR codes and the box is correct and all of that jazz. So that's something that's important to know. I think the most key defining features is check the bottoms of the shoes to make sure one says Let's Fan, one has the other icon or image. I forget what the logo of Wakuku. And then also double check the eyelashes are raised, the unibrows correct, this is a separate headpiece, and also that the arms are posable for this series. I think those are the most important things. And then just generally, what is the quality of the doll? Wakukus are actually really interesting because they're actually such like high quality dolls, which is so unexpected for something that is like this little ugly unibrow, but like ugly cute unibrow boy, right? But they're really, really nice. And they sit also very nicely. Like, look at that. He sits immediately really nicely, super grounded. This guy, on the other hand, he's a little bit wobbly. He's like always only on one butt cheek versus the next. And one thing that's really important is make sure your face matches the face that it's supposed to be. So what do I mean by that? On the box, right? It has a bunch of different ones. So it has these guys over here, and then these ones over here. So this one is like this, and he's kind of looking up and smiling. So here we go. We have this guy. He's looking up. He's smiling. Guess what? This one is the only one that has a different face. Well, not a different face, but like a very different face than the rest. Which is he's supposed to look like this. With his one eye is supposed to be a little bit more smushed. He's kind of like smirking with one eye semi-closed, one eye not. But look at this. He doesn't have that eye at all. He has the eyes from like another character, right? So he probably has the ones that are similar to this one over here, or even to this guy. So it's just totally different. You also would expect him to be a lot more vibrant too. I don't have the same Sing Rock one here to show you, but the colors of the hair should be quite vibrant. The real one for this particular version within this blind box series is a brighter lilac color. It's not so muted as well. And you can see his blush is also a little bit heavier than this guy. He still has a natural blush, but it's light. And if we look at it, his mouth is also this color, whereas this one is this color. Although I don't know if like the actual one for this would be this color as well. So, okay, that's about it. I hope this is helpful to you guys. I hope you guys learned a lot about Wakuku, about the difference between a WaFUFU and a Wakuku. And also, if you have ever accidentally received a fake, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know if you guys have a real one. Which one's your favorite? I'm looking out for Monster Imitation. That one's my favorite. I need to get one of those. So, yep. And with that, have a great day wherever you guys are. And I hope this was very helpful to you. Bye-bye.